Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the show. My name is Exus Justin, and today I have a friend here, Sahil Khan. And Sahil, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Awesome, you're welcome. Where are you located, by the way?
That's a really good question. At the moment, I'm actually stuck in London because of the current pandemic. But normally, I spend a lot of time over on the West Coast,
Hmm.
in Vegas and in LA, and then sometimes in Dubai. So I don't really have at the moment a destination where I'm in one place, but I I spend a lot of time over on the West Coast.
Yeah, okay, good. So you do a lot of traveling then.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of being stuck in London, because I know that the quarantine has been going on for several months, almost a couple of months now.
Yeah.
How long have you been stuck there?
We've been probably here for the last sort of 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So we have family here, so it works well for us. But yeah, just been stuck here, and the lockdown has created sort of a structure where nobody's has the ability to leave. To be honest with you, but it's good. I mean, as long as I have an internet connection and I have access to people like you, I'm fine.
Beautiful, love it. So
Yeah.
tell us, what is it that you do?
So I'm basically a joint venture broker. I basically broker luxury assets and joint ventures. So I do a lot of deals. I put businesses together, and I do a lot of brokering. I also train joint venture brokers 3 or 4 times a year. I do a boot camp in Las Vegas. And obviously, right now that's not possible. I had a boot camp coming up very soon, and I train joint venture brokers around the world. So my whole passion really is to show people how to leverage other people's assets without actually owning them and making money from those assets, whether it's a company or a business's database, their customers, their products and services, or whether it's things like luxury assets, which is what I'm focusing a lot on right now because of the current pandemic. There's a lot of people getting rid of luxury assets to help them with cash flow. So people like us who are brokers can actually
Hmm.
step in as middlemen into the deal and make money.
Yeah, good, good. That's fascinating. So how did you get started as a broker? What got you interested in this
That
this
is a
field?
that is a question. So I originally, it depends how long we have. So I'll do the short version. So I originally trained as an accountant many years ago, and for me, when I was there, it wasn't really the thing that I enjoyed. And when I left that, I basically set up an IT company, a computer company, which was very successful. And in early 2000, I read a book by Jay Abraham called "Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got." And that was the book that really inspired me to get into joint ventures. And my first joint venture that I did early 2000 is I approached a IT recruitment company and
Right.
basically did a JV with them. We offered them our computer training courses, which was the company I was running at that time. And it was unbelievable. In the first year, we did close to sort of 100,000 just with this small IT website. And then that joint venture that we did led us from going from 100,000 turnover to over 350,000 turnover in the short space of a matter of months. And then that was it. I was hooked on joint ventures. And then fast forward 2008, we had the dreaded recession,
Hmm.
and I built that company to 8 figures just using joint ventures. Okay, joint venture strategies, partnering with other companies who had complementary products and services. I built that IT company, that training company, to 8 figures. Then I sold it a majority stake to 160 million IT Group in 2006. 2008, we had the dreaded recession, and I lost everything. So I went from being a multi-millionaire to totally broke in 2008, the dreaded recession. And then in 2009, I set myself a challenge to make $1 million just doing joint ventures. And I brokered one joint venture in 2009 that made me just over $1.5 million and took me 30 days. So that's how I became known as the joint venture broker.
Wow, that's fascinating, man. Goodness. So in essence, what you do is you basically show people how to leverage joint ventures. So I know there's a lot of different niches people can get into in the online space. Now, in terms of all the marketing channels, everything they could do, why do you believe that joint ventures is one of the best methods that anyone, any entrepreneur, anyone could really get into and leverage out of all the others out there?
because there's no cost involved. There is absolutely no cost up front to go out and approach a company and get them to promote your product or service, because you normally have a marketing cost associated with building your business or building your company. But
Wow.
with joint ventures, there's no cost element at all up front, and you only pay out on sales that are achieved from the joint venture partner. And people talk about, you can make money from nothing doing joint ventures, and that has been the case not only for myself, but I have a lot of students who've done like 6 and even 7 figures from scratch, just by basically leveraging other people's assets or businesses, putting them together as a middleman, and walking away with a couple of $1 million.
Hmm. Now, goodness, you make it sound so easy though. What's the how does someone get started with and I guess first of all, just so because I know that in the audience we have coaches, consultants, service providers, and some of them might be newer to maybe the online marketing world and how
Yeah.
these things work. So how would you define what a joint venture is?
Okay, so a joint venture basically is a partnership between two or more companies or entities that have complementary resources. So I'll give you an example. You have let's say you have a bathroom tile manufacturer and you
Uh,
have a bathroom suite manufacturer. Now, both of these companies see each other as competitors, but they share the same customers. So their customer base is the same. They would buy their product and they would buy the other competitor's product. But what happens is in the industry and in business, most people don't collaborate with each other because they think they're competitors. That's where a person like me, who's the joint venture broker, comes in the middle and is totally impartial and actually creates a partnership between these two businesses, gets them making sales, and then we take a cut. So that's
mhm.
what basically a joint venture is and what a joint venture broker does.
Yeah, it's so powerful. Yeah, 'cause I know we've done quite a bit of joint ventures in our business as well too. When I was first getting started, I really didn't understand how the whole world worked. I really thought that everyone was just out for their own, and I kind of resisted getting into any types of partnerships. But once I
Exactly.
experienced it, I mean, just a total game changer. Now, for someone just getting started with the joint venture route, want to get into it, like, do you have any a couple of tips that you could share for someone who's just getting started with it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest thing about doing joint ventures is to start building your network. Now, LinkedIn is very very good to do that. I mean, if you're using LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a great place to find joint venture partners. Now, here's a tip: do not pitch on LinkedIn. A lot of people, they connect with me on LinkedIn and they go straight into a pitch. Find out first what that person wants. So here's 2 tips for you, and here's 2 things that I do. First of all, number one, I always ask that potential joint venture partner, how did you get started as what you're doing? So that's an icebreaker question, right? And that really builds a bond and a relationship. Second question I ask is, look, how can I help you grow your business by selling more of your product or service? And what will happen is that potential joint venture partner will tell you exactly what they need, exactly what they're after. And if you can provide that, great. If you can't, then find somebody else and do what I do and become a broker in that relationship and still make money and build that relationship.
Hmm. So powerful, and that's one thing I know. I teach as well too, because I help coaches, consultants, service writers really get to that 6 and 7 figure level. And I know whenever it comes time to either prospect or getting out there, everyone wants to just start off and just like pitch their services, like go connect with
Correct.
people on LinkedIn and just start saying, "Hey, come buy my stuff, come do this."
Yep.
Versus, I found that taking the approach which you just shared here, which is start off with the other person's needs, start off with what's
Yep.
important to them, figure that out, and then come from a place of helping them achieve that. And the conversation takes a way, way, way different dynamic versus if you go out and try to basically pitch them any type of services. Yeah.
Correct.
So now, in essence, it seems like you're like one level above. And what I mean by this is that most people they get into saying, okay, I don't know how to make money, but then they partner with an individual, maybe a company or someone who offers a complimentary service. They kind of partner and they do a deal together. But you're like more of like the next level, which is a joint venture broker, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so basically what I do is I find those opportunities. But nowadays it's easy because of the reputation that I've built online.
Hmm.
people approach me. So I don't do much outreach anymore. I get people coming to me, and that's the position you want to be in. You want to be in a position where you're being approached all the time. So, for example, one of my mottos is always give first, ask later. And Exodus, I know for a fact that you do that because you put out so much content that people are like, wow, this guy's giving us all the goods, right? All the goodies. I mean, this is amazing stuff. And then when people get on a call with you, they're relaxed and they're more sort of comfortable with the fact that, you know what, Exodus is the guy for me, because Exodus, I've watched all his training, he's given me loads of information, and now it's easy for me to make that decision because they're coming from a place of trust. So trust and authority are the biggest things. If you want to really, really be successful in any game, you've got to work at building that.
Goodness, yeah, that's so powerful. And with what you do here, because I've been online since 2013, and I've run across a lot of different people, but I know your name always like stands out whenever I see it online. I just know, okay, that's the joint venture guy. That's the guy you go to.
Correct.
I haven't really seen, although there might be, but I haven't really seen very many people doing what you do. And I believe that to become a leader, to become one of those top performers and stay in this field, you got to be pretty good at what you do. So I guess do you have any like success stories of people you've kind of helped broker deals and stuff like that?
Yeah, yes, most definitely. So I'll talk about some of the past stuff that we've done. So I've worked with a lot of people and a couple of my students. I've got one guy that one of my consultants, my joint venture broker consultants, and he's actually he completed a deal with a solar panel company, which basically leveraged their assets without even owning the deal, and he made $3 million from that. So I've got another one of my students who basically put a company over in China together with a company in Ireland in the automotive industry, and he made just $1.5 million from that deal. But then I have consultants and brokers who do smaller deals. I have one of my brokers who actually did a deal with an online guru. They did a webinar. He basically was a webinar broker. He basically bought other people's lists to the guru, who did a webinar to those lists, and he made $40,000 on just one webinar. So the potential to be able to make money doing this is really, really cool. But right now, the biggest opportunities that have landed on my desk are to do with things like the PPE stuff that's happening right now with the pandemic. People are wanting face masks and protective equipment. I mean, I'm working on two deals right now. One is a $50 million deal, one is a $100 million deal, and these are government projects and contracts. And they've approached me to go out and broker these deals. So the potential on that is absolutely huge. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if that completes and seeing where that takes me.
Yeah, awesome. And what's the because I know we all have a mission in life as far as what we see, how we see the world could be a better place in terms of something we figured out. And it definitely seems like joint ventures, that's the thing you've just mastered. Been doing it for a while and you've gotten really good at it. So in
Correct.
terms of the opportunity you see as far as for um, what opportunity do you see right now with just a joint venture whole field, and why it makes sense for individuals to get into it and stuff like that?
That's a great question. Now, I sold my JV consulting business back in 2017 for 8 figures. So I semi-retired. I took a year off, but then a lot of things brought me back into this industry because there's no one else at the moment that can replace what I do. So I thought, for me, the legacy really is to deliver the training that really helps people make something from nothing. So, right now that we're going through this pandemic, also with people losing their jobs and people having to pivot because their current businesses are not allowing them to give them that income, what I teach and what I do allows people to not make big investments into becoming successful by becoming a broker, because you've just got to build that network, keep your eyes open, and see the opportunities around you when you develop that joint venture mindset and leverage off the back of other people. So we're just piggybacking really on the back of other people who are successful, by creating partnerships and making money from those partnerships. So yeah, I'm really, really focused right now on brokering. I've set up a channel on YouTube called How to Broker, which is a channel that all I'm going to be doing is showing you how to broker luxury assets, joint ventures. I'm also taking my 3-day boot camp that I normally do in Las Vegas, that I charge $10,000 for 3 or 4 times a year. And now I'm converting that to an online program, which I'm launching actually next month. So I'm really excited about that.
Good. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. Pretty cool
Mm.
stuff. Um, so, in terms of how do you see the world being a better place with what you do? How do you see, like, yeah, how do you see? Because I know with every single entrepreneur, we all have a vision as far as why we do what we do. So, what's your why in terms of how the world could be a better place with what you're doing here?
That's a good question. Giving people the potential to do something and make something out of nothing. So a lot of people, they want that opportunity to become successful. A lot of people want to be led. So in terms of what I do, I mean, I also do like yourself. I do a lot of free training. There's a lot of my videos on YouTube. People approach me from watching that. So I like to put a lot of content out there and just show people how easy it is to even do a small deal, okay, and make money from that, and then build the confidence to be able to do bigger deals. Because you heard the old saying in internet marketing, right? Drop me anywhere in the world with a laptop and I'll make money, right? We've heard that hundreds of times. Mine is very similar. Drop me anywhere in the world where I have no knowledge of the economy or businesses, and I can make money instantly just by putting businesses together and making money, which I actually did a couple of years ago when I moved to Dubai. I had no idea about the landscape. I had no idea about how to make money. And what I did was I created a couple of joint venture deals between conference companies and training companies, and we made six figures from that without even basically knowing how business works in a place like that. That's how
Mhm.
powerful joint ventures are.
Yeah. So, wow, nice.
Mm.
I have a friend who's in Dubai. I might have to connect the two of you because I know he does
Cool.
some a similar thing. He runs quite a few businesses on that end, and he's grown pretty fast as well too. So I think you guys
Brilliant.
probably make an introduction between the two of you guys.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Now, and that's so true with the free trainings because I know most individuals who do what you do, most of that stuff is like it's closed doors. You don't get access to the free trainings. You don't even get access to them unless you pay a lot of money to either attend the events or sign up for one of their programs and stuff. But you take the approach of just giving as much value away for free, which is an awesome strategy. I know one of my clients, he just hit his $20,000 per month mark, helping people with anxiety, and before he did that, he was trying to just get, which is just go after like pitching people versus going for
Correct. Yeah.
a different approach, which is just giving value, get value, value,
Yeah.
value. Eventually, people start coming to you and saying, "Hey, when
That's
you get a
right.
call from, easy to close, easy to convert." Okay, perfect. So tell us, what do you have going on right now? What's on the horizon for you?
Well, on the horizon right now is just really focusing on building this educational channel, the How to Broker channel. And,
Hmm.
I really want to be touching people all around the world and showing them exactly how they can leverage that. The other thing is, I'm like I said, I've launched my bootcamp online,
Hmm.
which is at learn2broker.com with the number two. So, I bought the domains how to broker with the number two and learn2broker.com with the number two. So I was after those domains for a couple of years, and now finally I've got them. So I own those domains, and that's really my focus. And the number one thing is, like you said, focus on one thing and become a master at that. And I've been doing this for the last 15, 20 years. You won't ever see me sell anything else apart from anything to do with joint ventures or joint venture brokering. That is basically my gig, and that's what's made me famous.
Hmm. Wow, man! Like it seems like you just have this whole thing already figured out in a sense. So there's a lot to learn from you. Now, before we was there any questions? Because I know this interview went by pretty fast and you shared some awesome stuff. But I know that with getting into any type of new field, any industry, there's always a few questions that individuals who are maybe newer or just wanting to get into it should be asking, but they're not asking. They haven't figured it out. So, in terms of the joint venture brokering, are there any questions you think I should have asked that I didn't?
I think you're fine. I think we've covered most of the spectrum. Most people ask me, how do I get into brokering, and will brokering be right for me? And that's the number one question. I think anyone that has any sort of business experience or life experience, but also understands how business works, will be successful at joint venture brokering, because you have to be able to go out there and basically reach out to potential joint venture partners and businesses and convince them to let you take control of their assets and let you create partnerships for them. So I think the biggest thing is having a really good personality and having the ability to be able to network is a big key thing about getting into the joint venture brokering field.
Hmm. Would you say you're a pretty big networker?
Oh, huge! When I first started, that's all I did. I went to first of all, I went to free events. And then when I did my 1.5 million JV in 30 days, then I got invited to speak at events. So I became an international speaker. For a couple of years, I spoke on big stages, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 stages. And, I met a lot of great people. But yeah, I'm always a networker. I'm always networking.
Hmm.
And I'll give you a tip, basically. If you really want to network in the right places, go to paid events. Go to events where you have to pay to get in, because that's where the quality of people are, rather than the free events. So that's the biggest tip I can give about networking at events.
Yeah, perfect. Now, how do you maintain your relationships? What's the process? Do you have a process you use to kind of nurture, maintain relationships?
Yeah, sure. Now, one of the things I do is, I've got a best-selling book that I wrote a couple of years ago with J. Conrad Levinson from Guerrilla Marketing, one of my mentors, and I basically send a copy of those books to open up relationships with basically like CEOs of companies, for example. If I want to connect with bigger, larger corporate companies, because one of the things I used to do was a lot of consulting for Fortune 100 and 500 companies, and that consulting company I sold in 2017. That's
Right.
what I was doing. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was reaching out to corporations and sending them a copy of my book with a thank you letter, and making a connection with them that way. That was my biggest calling card.
Hmm. Love it, love it. Appreciate, man. You should have a lot of valuable wisdom here. Sohail, am I saying this right? I got the
You're fine.
pronunciation a
That's
bit
fine. Yeah.
off, but how can someone find out more? If someone listens to this right now and they're like, okay, I want to take the next step with you. What's the best way to get started?
Okay, so you can connect with me on Facebook. My URL is facebook.com/the JV guy, which is quite
Hmm.
simple. Also, make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll find me on LinkedIn. Just type in the joint venture expert, either into Google or into LinkedIn, and you'll find me. And also, anyone interested in learning more about how to become a broker, have a look at my program, which is at learn2broker.com. And just have a look and see what I do there. And just reach out to me if you've got any questions. I'll be happy to answer them, and I'll be happy to do that.
Perfect. Well, appreciate you being here, man. I know you're a pretty busy guy. Thank you so much for making the time. And any final thoughts before we end here?
Just I really appreciate what you do as well. I think you've done really, really well for the industry, and I think some of the stuff that we all are doing, because we are at that level, where people want to be led, and I think we're all doing a great job, and I think we should help as many people as we can, because people right now need help. So anyone wants to reach out to me, you're welcome to do that. I do have time for everyone, and I'll make that time. I'll just let my VA know.
Awesome. I love it. Love it. Well, I appreciate it. And we'll be in touch. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.